that in here. And that's not the only example I have. I also have this one. This one is specifically referencing, this one is a really good example. I have this one uploaded on YouTube as well. I will try to find a link later, but 3 times wrote wrong words because of hypnosis in one sentence. And I mean entirely wrong words, not like... Anyways, I'll show you, I'll elaborate. So this video is going to indicate various alterations and patterns. And then I wrote in handwriting, but I meant to write identified. So I crossed out in handwriting and I wrote the intended word, like I described earlier. And then and I was supposed to write handwriting then, but I started writing the word writing. So there's a W and a part of an R. So then I crossed that out and I start writing, and I try to correct it and write handwriting. And then I end up actually writing hand ring. So then there was a third one. And that was 3 times in less than a sentence. And then in let me see. And then right here, where I try to point out that I was supposed to write handwriting right there, I end up writing handwrite instead. So I circled that, and then I pointed it out as well, right there. And so that is 4 examples. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Handwrite, hand ring, and in handwriting. And I like, this is literally like I completely intended to write a different word. While my conscious attention was distracted, I wrote the wrong word because the hypnosis was able to do that without me noticing until afterwards. And that's what I meant. So there's that. And then I also have some pictures here. These are just so I mean, these are everything that I was hypnotized to draw and shown to draw while I was in Jordan Valley Medical Center's emergency room. And I mean, you can see quite a bit here. Some of them are actually, most of these are actually pertaining to music specifically. And let me see. So this is all evidence for a court case, of course, as well. Just pointing that out. Let's see. Oh, that's right. So, and here, this was done as a form of therapy for me, right? To treat the PTSD that I was suffering from. And what you see over here, let's see. We'll go ahead and get to that later. That's important, though, as well. Let's see. Okay. So, I was hypnotized to draw pictures over any alterations in handwriting, and that's what I meant by distraction, right? While I was in jail, because the pencils in jail didn't have erasers. So I was framed for assault charges, which I'll elaborate more. And the drawings had very specific meanings expressing elaborate details relevant to the context of hypnosis. The letters written by John Matthew Hurl were much different than mine, although abnormal to be elicited as a supposed threat of death. Obviously, I mean, you know, it's not very common to draw a bunch of doodles in a letter where you're threatening to kill somebody. And also the content, the context of what he's actually saying in the letters also will contradict that of what death threats would. Specifically because he actually offers to protect her and asks her for help. Which stands out a lot, right? So the letters written by John Matthew Hurl were much different than mine, although abnormal to be elicited as a supposed threat of death, which raises profound suspicions with multiple forms of evidence indicating a direct relevance to the situation. One specific trait relating to the use of the drawings as a method of distraction from adequately articulating the letter content. So again, this is kind of like where the pattern interrupt type of thing would come in. And, you know, of course, doing that intentionally. Now, I will go ahead and also elaborate here because there is something in here that is important. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this sticky note. And this will go onto, let's see, that's drawing number 1. Okay. So you can see right there, there's a pyramid shape. Actually, I also want to point out here in my drawing, you can see it almost kind of looks like a pyramid. you know, with some type of protrusion coming out, but regardless. Moving on. So then there's one drawing, then let's see, there's two, second one's there. On multiple of these pages, the triangle stood out a lot to me, reminded me, I was hypnotized to think of pyramids, and like I said, this is premeditated. So they wanted me to find out about this. The reason for that is very elaborate. Like I said, this was a very large organized crime operation. And then this one doesn't have any. This one does, right there, just in the top. The fire also represents something along the lines of a seal, actually specifically, which I go into. I will try to go into another video. So of course I have this censored as well, which is lovely because a lot of Billie Eilish's fans are children. And then let's see, there are some more drawings. This one has, I think, the most drawings on it, or the second to most, but either way, the crosses and all the religious references he makes as well stand out a lot, very profoundly. And then here's another drawing with a flower, right? I mean, you know, I'm going to kill you with a flower. Not exactly very logical. And then there's some more drawings here. You can see pyramid, another triangle with a few other triangles, another cross. And anyways, regardless of such, I actually had some post-hypnotic suggestions and hypnotic cues when I first read these. Now, let's see, there was something I wanted to point out here as well, just before I end the video. There's two things. Let's see, so the first one is... And then what he means by, okay, and this one is the part that's a little confusing. You can't get what you want unless what you want is to die for me. And basically that would, like the meaning that he had behind that, because this was also a post-hypnotic suggestion. Kind of like a savior, or like how Jesus died, right? Well, the context behind it specifically, they basically told me something along the lines of, you know, like, I remember they threatened me with one thing. It was, what was it? Like if I wanted to go on the news and talk about legalizing marijuana, or if I wanted to die for their sins. And let me see. Where is it? You need to shelter me and I can protect you from hell. See, and that's kind of what he meant by that as well, right? Because, I mean, it's even disorganized and on a different page as well. And I described that, and I forgot that he even said the word hell, or I would have censored that, by the way. Because you could see I censored a profanity on one of the pages with a sticky note. But regardless, okay, here it is. And then this is where it's going to get even more interesting. So I wrote that picture, let me think. I wrote that picture, like I said, 2020. This was before she received these. This was 2/18/2021. And let's see, Donald. And he talks about the government in here. Government, right there. Alright, and then, like I said, I was told about this before it happened. I was told this was going to happen before it happened. I just didn't had it repressed from my memory until it happened. And then, right here, you can see Donald Trump. Very long story, extremely complicated. Considering how elaborate this is, if there was a figure like this, with that much power, then this would actually make sense. And you could even also look here. Trump's alleged beef with Billie Eilish. WAPO. Don't know what that means. Report under scrutiny. That's 2 of 8 from TMZ. You can see also right there. Anyways, so there's that. And even further evidence, of course, like I also pointed out here, I mean, this is an example, like there's 2 alterations that are specified in the first signature compared to the second one, and then 4 in the first one compared to the second one that are different, right? Indicating those are written by 2 different people. Well, if you look at how I point out the alterations at least, right? And I mean, these are writing completely different words. This is actually more advanced than FBI handwriting analysis. And this is a lot more psychological instead of, psychological and subjective compared to, analytical and objective. Don't need to look under a magnifying glass for that, because it's easy to tell that, what types of mistakes were made on here. But you can also see that I'm pointing out all these mistakes here in less than a sentence. The smaller the sample and the more mistakes or alterations that are in the sample, the more reliable those alterations are, indicating that it was written by a different person. Same concept here is the more alterations that you see and the shorter and the smaller sample, the more likely there was, the more... same thing that I was saying with this one, but my memory is being repressed by the hypnosis. The more reliable the sample is as a form of evidence. Sorry about that. There we go. More reliable it is as a form of evidence. And then the last thing here, there's actually 2 things. So I don't know if you noticed here, I'm recording on Facebook Live, and I also have a second phone in my hand. So I'll go ahead and get started here. So this is about Jordan Valley Medical Center. I was hypnotized in the emergency room twice. Name's Matthew Jester, by the way. I have an article about myself right here. You can see my face there. I don't look the prettiest in that picture, I will admit. Moving on. When you use security cameras in a healthcare environment, the video footage that you record qualifies as PHI. As PHI video surveillance footage must be protected according to HIPAA regulations. So then, there's that, right? So basically, like the security camera footage in a hospital or an emergency room has to be protected, and it qualifies as protected health information. That's what PHI stands for. This is from rhombussystems.com. They are a security surveillance camera company, surveillance company, and that's the resource of information for that one. And then this one right here, you can see in the state of Utah. Resource of information for this is HIPAA medical record retention laws.png. Let me see. And you can see here that I'm specifying in Utah because that's the state that I'm located in. Adult patients, 7 years. Minor patients, 7 years or until the minor blah, blah, blah. And then, okay, also to clarify, so this is hospitals, this is medical doctors, right? So then... you can see, that's where I circled it, right? So this is adult patients. You can still see 7 years. That's under hospitals, not medical doctors. I was in the emergency room. And then state medical record laws, minimum medical record retention periods for records held by medical doctors and hospitals. So there's that. And then when you look at the article where I said that I was framed... well, sentencing postponed for man claiming he was hypnotized. And I also even speak about a murder in here, I believe, as well. And this person that I was, so this person was actually my mother. She will be honest to the best of her memory. I guarantee that much. I know that, I would not be going to this length just to, lie about it, of course, right? But, and by the way, a lot of this is actually very distorted too. I want to clarify that. My mother even reported being confused. Also a possible indication that she could have been hypnotized. Let me see. Oh, there we go, there we go. He claimed to still be under the effects of hypnosis, causing him sometimes to cramp up and scream in pain. What I referenced, oh, friend's murder, there we go. And I also specify hypnotized against my will in 2018 and 2019 after witnessing his friend's murder. He claimed to still be under the effects of hypnosis, causing him to sometimes cramp up and scream in pain. They didn't specify that it was when I was writing the word murder, but regardless of such, claiming that I rambled about being abused by jail guards, but didn't provide any specific details. I did provide specific details, by the way. Anyways, so I ended up getting sentenced for this, but regardless, this video is way too long, unfortunately. I'm really going to have to remake it here soon, but I will go ahead and get that done. Oh, by the way, I also want to clarify what I was hypnotized to think that having two phones meant. The phone that I'm recording on right now, that is in the palm of my hand, I was hypnotized to think that it meant the social worker that hypnotized me, and then phone number 2 was the nurse that was with her, and they called themselves the Death Threat Squad, and not that they did this to kind of make it less easy to believe. That's why. But they threatened me in the emergency room. They told me about how they were how Billie Eilish was going to receive death threats before it happened, and I was told that the reason why they were both involved was because they both got death threats to give me death threats. That if they were not going to hypnotize me, if the social worker would not hypnotize me, that they were going to kill her. And the nurse, told me that he had to witness the social worker hypnotizing me to make sure that she did it right, and that if he didn't do that, then he would get killed. And then on the security cameras, you can see this. You can see on the security cameras here, it was the social worker had me smell a bottle of essential oil on camera. She held it up under my nose, and then she also had me drawing on a clipboard. And then again, that is who I am. And again, did I specify that yet? I think I did. Oh yeah, I did. But me and John Matthew Hurl were both talking about the exact same person. Donald Trump. So this is actually a lot more elaborate than that, but I'm going to leave it at that for the moment. And anyways, just remember, this is not a coincidence, if you can see. Hope you have a great day and hope you enjoyed the video.